post in particular actually really sparked our imagination and sparked this conversation. It came out of Forbes.com. It is about IBM to CMOs and CIOs work together or become irrelevant. It was put together by Mark Fidelman, a writer for Forbes.com, as well as chief social strategist at Harmony. So Mark, welcome in. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, guys.
So for the folks out there, kind of give us the Cliff Notes version of the post, if you will.
Well, it basically comes down to a couple things that are happening. As you know, the world is getting much more complex. It's unclear as to where it's all headed. But what we do know for sure, and this is kind of the punchline of the IBM study, is that CMOs and CIOs need to work closely together, because having them disconnected is going to prove a problem for organizations that want to adapt to this new market that we're seeing appear in or online.
Hey, Mark, so glad you could join us. Listen, this is an old problem, right? This is, you know, I started as an engineer and as a technologist and worked in corporate R&D and, you know, evolved into a CMO role. But isn't this an old problem? Is this sort of an old problem with new tools?
This is an old problem with new tools, but and especially because if you look at the CMO and CIO traditionally, it's kind of an odd couple, is it not? I mean, you've got the CMO who's very extroverted, very creative, and you've got the CIO that's more technical, probably known for being more introverted. These are not two people that hang out at the local bar.
Or maybe they do and they just have really interesting conversations, right? I mean, it's so funny. As a marketer who started as an engineer, man, where does technology not impact your day-to-day? I mean, between your social channels, your digital channels. I mean, if you're doing anything with digital, if you're doing anything with online, increasingly you're having to deal with the technical side of things, the tools, the applications, the implication of a technically sort of savvy audience, right? It's interesting because we need to be talking together, and you're right, it is sort of a left brain, right brain kind of a thing. But maybe, Mark, you can share kind of what are some of the tricks, I guess, to get these groups that naturally don't hang out together, which is your point, to kind of get them to work together. Either are they kicking and screaming coming together, or they want to work together, they just haven't figured out the best way to do it?
Well, it's a great question, and you know, I think you've got to give them a vision of what of where the organization's heading, especially around internal and what I call external social networks.